good morning, and a true good morning today, as I am actually quite early in comparison to my normal streams. Now, what is this? 1588 by 9. Oh, so just slightly wider. Okay. Well, we'll just add our little 88 here. Don't know what good that did, but I guess in my brain it made all the difference. All right, so cute detail bag. Can you spell your apparently not 2025. Okay, save. It's all about saving. And I will switch over to the actual stream here in just a hot second. Here we go. All right. So today, I am working on updating this, which is the print that goes on my plastic bags. I use the booth. And I was going to do something super cute, but it's, well, this is super cute, but I was going to do something in full color and have kind of a comic printed on the bag itself and then have a QR code and all that good stuff. But that's really expensive, and I can get a heck of a lot more for my money if I just do a single color, black and white. And so I want to update this a little bit, although I don't know if I really should, because this has like everybody on here. It even has Pudge. It's got Modern Floofs, it's got Granny Bear and Boop. I'm thinking of just using this. Well, let me start drawing because this is so good. Okay, I'm just going to start drawing. Let's just see if we can figure something out. Otherwise, I'll be working on the book, which I got converted over here. So these are placeholders right here, the cover. And I need to make the cover file a little bit taller so I can have all of my, let's pop over here. So what I did to make the inline file look decent is I just made a B cover and a cover pattern pages and then made those master pages. I don't really know what point it serves because I have all of this here, but whatever. So what I discovered is that I really like the entirety of my cover, but the way I did it, I can actually fit everything on there pretty easy peasy. So that's what I'm going to do. This is just going to be taller, and I'm going to have all of the it's just going to scooch down a little bit so this comes in a little bit more, and I have this guy firmly on the cover, and then this will go up higher, and the title will be more visible. This is the other area I've got to kind of fiddle with because I've got the author credit here, but I'm like, it's not, I don't know. I don't want to move it up here, but maybe I do. I'll figure it out. But that's where that is. And then I went, let's go in here. So in my actual working document, you can see all of this laid in here, and those are master pages. So they don't move, they update when I update those masters. And this time I actually did complete custom illustrations on for the entirety of the book on the inner page. I was like, okay, I started drawing this one and then I just kept drawing, and so I ended up with 2 completely custom illustrations. Usually it's just a repeating pattern, but this time I decided, hey, let's be extra. so now what I've done is I also updated my interior splash page colors, and I also updated the interior offset color, which you can't see here. It's over here. It's one of those two. And so now it's all about putting in the actual comics, which is, I've got to update this too, because that was the only splash I left. I wanted to have a page that, and I do have it down here, as the crossover from the book sections to the final sections where I talk about the characters. And so these are all the character pages, and everything's well and updated. And I think actually I've got the Greebles in here. I've got Baby Kraken. Hi, Beanie. I'm so glad you figured out the door. Do you want me to put your heating pad out? Hold on just a second. I have to serve my supervisor. My lady, are you gonna come sit? I'll prepare your pad for you. Come on. I know. Come on, get up here. You want to squish? No, you just want to be difficult. Come on. There you go, my lady. Pad's all ready for you. All right. Back to this. And of course you find the one fluff to eat on my desk. Why would you do anything other? Oh, wiggle tail. Come on, get on your pad. There you go. She's going to be different today. Do you want to squish? No? Feel free. That's where you want to be. Alright, so I did all my things, my posting. Alright, so that's where I'm at. I don't believe I'll be making any changes here, but your tail, really, you're being very, very. Okay. I still need to print these out and do some corrections, but since we're working on this idea right now, that's what I'm going to focus on and see if I can come up with something. Your flippity floppeting on your tail is not helping your cause. It's really not. I need room for the title. In fact, why don't I just bring this over? All right, let's leave this up here. So I had them in, let's see, I could do maybe strawberry picking because this whole thing is a strawberry theme because of Mo, or it could be a Cozy Town market theme. That could be good, like a market. I don't like that idea. So I could draw the floofs in a barrel of floofs. So what What if instead of that I did cozy? Oh, that's. I'm doing brand confusion now because is it Be Cute or is it Cozy Town Market? The Cozy Town Market is the theme of the damn booth, so it's on the table covers. It looks like a market booth, but I have my big Be Cute standees, 5-foot standee on the top of the thing. Okay, let's rethink this. Let's go back over here. And let's think market. Let's think market blues in a basket. Not a basket, but a barrel. A barrel of blues. They need to be smaller. I'm happy here. Mini bear boop. And let's have him. I need, okay, so this is Granny Bear boop. Momo Cheat. She's gonna have a big strawberry. I need more characters on this thing. I need a Pudge. I think I'll have Pudge here. What if I do some like those little banners, you know, hanging? That could be cute. That could be fun. I could do a sign. Could have them a little bit in the background. I could have them like over here maybe, and I could have this guy kind of over here, maybe. I feel like that would possibly bring this all together a little better. Let's make it a little smaller too, and then maybe I'll do some more barrels or bins or something down here, maybe a little awning to make it seem like it's a fair or a market or something, perhaps. I do have things in here, but it's hidden. It's way in that thing over there. I feel like this is okay. So the only other, oops, get out of this. So the only other, this artwork is not complete in that I have 50% fill areas here to create the shadows. And on the final artwork, this is actually going to be halftones, like a halftone pattern. And I have to go in and convert that. It actually looks pretty cool once it's done. But yeah, so I just have to be mindful of that and remember that, hey, you gotta, you know, convert everything. But as far as getting all the characters on here, I've got Pudge, Happy, Momo, Coco, GB, Boop, and the Floofs. So here we go. Happy, Pudge, Momo, Coco, GB, Boop, the Floofs. Okay, so it's consistent, at least for the most part. All right, so draw. Let's see, last year I actually, yeah, and that's the whole reason it's going to be too expensive to do the others, because I ran out. I did 500 bags last year and I ran out. And so I need to do 1,000 bags this year. And that's just, it's insane how much it costs to do the other ones. These should actually be relatively painless. Still painful, but I do. So I got a takedown notice on one of my streams previously, and I was confused as heck because I purposefully used the this music is the Harris Heller stream beats. It's DCMA free, you can use it for streams. But I think what happened was I forgot to have the playlist on loop, and so it accidentally ventured outside of the free music list I made, and I didn't notice. And because when I went back in here, I checked the list and my loop was not checked, so I think that's why. So I might have to go edit one of my previous streams. I think it was this previous one. Let's make a book or something. Oh, you're a little chunky. Good girl. The reason I'm doing an early stream today is because I want to go out to a couple of the box lunches around here and see if I can find my pin locally. Last time I checked, I was not able to find it, so I want to go out and give those stores another shot since I know it has been found. And that means going out early, because otherwise I'll be stuck in traffic like all day. Well, last night I was getting my comic ready to post, and I was actually posting, you know, I had everything done and I was shutting down, and I went to do my scheduling, and my website decided to not break, but kind of break. And so I had to jump on with tech support, and was up probably, I think I actually got done with that around like 1 or so. A little, no, it was more like 1:30. It sucked. But they got it fixed, and for some reason my firewall decided to stop recognizing my IP. They basically blocked my IP, so I couldn't upload any images to WordPress, which is how my website comic works. And so he had to flush the server, and also reset the firewall. Do all sorts of wonderful stuff. I think I need to make. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Let's bring you. There we go. You need to be a little bit taller. Oh, that looks weird. But I do need to change this. I don't really like your footers like that either. Let's see, what movies did I watch this weekend? I watched The Accountant 2 finally, which I thought it was cute. I didn't watch the first one again, so I was a little bit, not shaky on the lore of the movie, but just I couldn't quite remember everything. But I thought it was cute the way the banter of the brothers was kind of a focus of this one. Yeah, I know it was in the last one, but I don't believe it was in quite such a volume. I know that he did that whole shootout in the building. And they replaced the brother with a different actor this time that played Shane in Walking Dead. I'm going to say that her arm is disappearing behind this strawberry. And I'm just going to move this up a little bit. Yep. You need to be looking at Granny Bear a little bit more than you are, my dear. There we go. These little bits and pieces may. Hey, Bacon! What's sizzling? Indeed. Right now I'm cooking up a retail bag. You know what? Let me just dig out the example. and I'll show you what I'm working on here. And also, while I'm at it, since I don't know when you did that, I'm going to put live chat on so I actually see things as they pop up. Because we're a professional streamer, right? So this is, let's bring this back up. My ears in. There we go. So this is a very beat up one from probably the original. I drew this originally in 22, so I've reprinted this and used it a couple years in a row. So 22, 23, and 24, 4 years. So it's time for an update. This is what it's going to look like. It's got a small gusset on the bottom that essentially one of my regular size plushies can fit in here. I can really cram 2 in here if I'm quite determined. It fits books pretty well, but for larger orders I have to do like maybe 2 or so of these, but I also have bigger ones that are like the traditional die cut handle bag that are larger. But it's printed on both sides. And these are nice and strong. I've used other bags in the past where these things just pop right off, and it was yeah, one in particular, before handing out a retail bag we actually had to hunt and test for handles that were still attached. So yeah, I never used that company again. I never picked those bags again, but this one has not failed me so far. So that is what I'm updating, is the print on that, and that's what this is going to be. And I have to get that done relatively soon because they need to be produced and shipped. So I need to get my button gear on that, and that is what we're doing today. Also, I showed this a little bit earlier. This is the status of my book. I've got the blank. I've saved over my volume from last year and removed all of the pages. I discovered where I stopped and where I shall stop this year, and then I actually have it mapped out for the next volume as well where it will stop. For whatever reason, the comics are from October to October, so I don't know. That's what I chose. Actually, the end of September to the beginning of October. But yeah, this is where the book is, and I've got, let's show this. Let's go back up. Here's the front cover. This was my note to say, hey, you need to adjust this cover because you don't want this ugliness. I'm just going to squish it down a little bit, add a little bit more sky so I can have most, if not all, of this illustration present on the back cover. Hey Sharon, welcome to the stream. And this is the interior cover. And I did 2. Usually this is just a repeating pattern, but I just started drawing and kept drawing, and it's all unique. Except for some of the flowers. I did do some repeats on the flowers here and there. But yeah, so that's where that is. I need to start by filling in. I can fill that one in. I did a splash for this. Let me just go ahead and drop that in as I'm thinking about it. Because that one is on my desktop. Alright, so this is the splash sketch here. It's big. I always have to. There's an adjustment period when I start working in this program again, because to scale things down, you've got to hold Control and Shift. Otherwise, you're editing the crop on this. So that's going to be the little splash here on this one. since it's all themed on gardening and growing, that good stuff there, and that's what these are. So I figured that would be a good splash there. And then now I can start in on the comics here. And so that was that. Hit save. And I don't seem to have a cough drop, so that's gonna be fun. Alright, let's hide this so I can actually see the chat again. I want to get into drawing comics, but don't draw enough to feel confident. Yeah, that's, that... What I would suggest is, I mean, where the problem is, so you gotta attack it. And I faced the same thing. It took me forever to make a comic, to make just a drawing flat out. And so that's why one of the reasons I started my daily drawings, and that helped my speed, that helped my my ability to assess an illustration kind of problem and solve it. And but yeah, it really just practice helps with everything. And I started posting the comics on Webtoon, and it was a walk back through time, because I wanted to start at the very beginning. And so some of these comics didn't have featured images, and I'd bring up these old files, and it would cause me to remember that it literally took me like a week to do these sometimes. And what would take me maybe a couple hours to line, and I could get, if no distractions, I could get through probably most of the color too. But this thing would take me weeks, not weeks, but days into a week to make. And it's just, kind of having those snapshots over time can help you appreciate the work that you've put in, because sometimes it's hard to remember. You think, oh, I'm not up here, I want to be here, and you're maybe here, but you used to be here. So I think in the end, the motivation really wasn't the motivation. I think probably the pain of not doing what you want to do has to exceed the pain of staying comfortable and just not doing it. Because it's a balancing act. It's kind of like if you want to get healthy, the pain of what you're going through now, and just staying the course has to be less than the pain, has to be greater than the pain of change. So you go to the pain of change than the pain of staying the way you are. And that's what I've seen a lot of people kind of talk about when they talk about getting into healthier habits. But it's the same with drawing. You just have to get to that point where you're like, okay, I want to do what I want to do so much that I don't really care about the pain of change of learning something new anymore. Because it does suck. You go through periods of growth and learning, and you got to make those. I know I think it's been debunked, but what was it? I think it was Chuck Jones was talking about one of his teachers, or maybe it was his dad. It's like everybody has like 100,000 bad drawings in them, and you've got to get them out. That's how you get good. All right, let's move on. Let's see, I've got these little kind of arcs. I might refresh and do these. My problem is I do too much and don't focus on individual things. 2 weeks ago, I was deep into 3D and 3D printing. This week, I'm focused on working on exercising. Yeah, I hear ya. Oops. Maybe I'll have, because I think in the past I've had Granny Bear be a little bit like size comparison to Momo Cheat. I'm trying to remember. I think they're pretty equal, if not Momo Cheat's a little bigger. Adisha, hello, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Oh. Finally reconnected my Wacom. Trying to get back into drawing and Illustrator and Clip Studio. Been using a lot of Procreate as well. I hear that, well, I saw them update, and I think they did specifically to Procreate Dreams. They did a this is what we're working on. The update isn't ready yet, but I know we told you in December it would be early 2025, and now we're in mid 2025. So I think they felt that they had to update people. But it looks really cool what they're doing with Dreams. And I think buried in there was some, because in the December 18th or somewhere around there update and video that they posted, they kind of talked about them both at the same time, as if they were going to launch the updates at the same time for both of those programs. And I know Kyle Webster, I think they got him on board for brushes, which is super cool. But yeah, so I think they did that I was looking, what was it, maybe last week or the week before. Every so often I Google, and they did an update. So apparently they were sick of people asking, hey, what's the update? Rainy Bear, you're a little bit big now. Let's make you, I guess I have to make you taller. Well, she's not that much taller than Momo though. Let's make you small. There we go. I think the body ratio is right. There we go. And let's bring your little body up here, because I gotta give you leg. And maybe you're gonna be behind, maybe you're coming up behind the... Maybe you're kind of walking up, maybe you've got a basket, maybe you're holding a market basket or something, or maybe I like that though. Okay. Basket of market, maybe a bag of market goodies. Smaller. And like this, maybe. Holding on, basket. There we go. And we've got stuff coming out of it. And I feel like I'm cheating if I hide her feet behind the hill. Let's just not hide her feet behind the hill, because that's cheap. Now I need to make her eyes look a little bit more at Momocheat. Or maybe I just need to size her down a little bit more. Just group Granny Bear. There we go. There we go. That's a little better. Now she can be holding stuff. Now she can be holding stuff. Alright, now let's fix this market bag. Oh. Right. I think I've got to redraw her arm too, because her arm is kind of, it's a little not what I want. Let's group this bag. I'll probably bring down the edge of it a little bit. Let's just all right. Let's get this over here. There we go. And come to find that my little paw here has a bump that I don't want it to have. So let's clear that bump out. All right. I kind of want to move it. Maybe I want to make this a little smaller. Maybe just. Any update on box lunch? Yes. I have not found it locally yet. I have. Well, I'm gonna go out around today to a couple of the stores, which is why I'm streaming early. But I'm gonna do a check there. But I did have one of my friends. She found it in a box lunch in Seattle, and I haven't gotten any updates on any of the others that people are watching. But it is confirmed in one store, and it is online as well. Right here. Come on, fingers. This one? Yeah. This one. This is my sample that they sent. So it'll look like this, but I don't know if this is going to be good. But it's the You've Got This with coconut and a flute. And then the one, I believe it's only available online, is the I Believe in You. And that's the flute holding the, I think it's a heart. So that is confirmed, and that was super exciting to see. I'm waiting to see if there are any updates on the Cocoa Plush. That's another project that we're working on. I have done one round of revisions, and I haven't heard or seen, the revised based on those revisions yet. So I'm hopeful that'll be arriving soon, and they'll go for that. Go ahead and erase this. Oops, I need to do that. I usually put on, just something in the background as I'm drawing. And I recently found this new channel. Was it two brothers are exploring, kind of in the vein of Desert Drifter, but since he's no longer with us, that was a really sad story, by the way. But kind of in that vein, they kind of go to these remote areas, more caving. And there's another guy that's kind of popped up as well. He looks like on Google Maps to find weird structures, and then he goes investigates. But these caving guys, oh my goodness. I mean, watching those videos just makes me so uncomfortable, but it's fascinating because they're going into these caves that are just, they just keep opening up, but it's when they get into those tight spaces that I just like, yeah, no, that's not I don't know anything about caving, but they don't really, it seems like to me that they're doing it too safely. But yeah, I guess they'll get out because the thing's been uploaded, but they're squeezing into these tiny spaces. They're going when, hopefully they're checking the weather to make sure it doesn't rain, and it's not in the rainy season when flash floods can literally just change the volume of water in a caving system in seconds. Yeah, no thanks, exactly. But it just, what fascinates me is just with the, how do I describe it? It's just the, if a relaxed sense of adventure, or like they see a tiny little hole and like, I can squeeze through that, and they go ahead. And I think normal people would be like, yeah, no. And but they're just like, yeah, dude, let's go check it out, dude. Wow. It's kind of like surfer dudes go caving at some points. It's kind of funny. But yeah, I've been watching that. So there's GB on that. Let's just do a little footers here. And I might rearrange these guys a little bit too, once I've got more of the cast drawn out. Let's do Happy and Pudge over here, and then I'll go over to the Barrel of Floofs and Coconut. Watched a video about someone doing that, and he got stuck in the cave with no outlet. He passed away. Oh no. I wonder, was that the Nutty Putty guy? The Nutty Putty Cave? I think that they closed that one because of a caver that went in, got stuck, and couldn't get out again. There's some miraculous, like, rescues. I mean, tragic stories, but, like, there was one, I can't remember what caving system it was, but a group of kids go in and they didn't check the weather, and a flash flood essentially starts filling up this cave. And I think it was 5 kids went in and 1 kid came out, and he was in there for several days. But he survived because he was the youngest, and he was small enough that he could hold on to this ledge. It was like finger hold and toe hold as this water was rushing in, totally dark. And but that kid was rescued, and they found him just a couple, not really that far away, but the water apparently went down a little bit so he could get up and over and find a safer spot. But Hargender, hello, welcome to the stream from the other side of the world. Wow, recently stumbled upon your channel and think it's the first time I've caught the stream live. Oh, wonderful! Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm curious what time it is. Is it where you are? That's a really wretched toilet paper. That's a little bit better. This toilet paper already looks soggy. Come on, give Happy his dignity. Although I know I'm going to be erasing some of these lines anyway. Looked it up in the eye. I think we've seen the same story. I can only handle so many of those. Like, YouTube likes to serve those to me, and like, okay, am I in the mood for these like horribly, disastrous stories? And I just, yeah. Some of them are very interesting. There's this one that was like a mining disaster. Something with gas. It was like and I can't remember what caused the gas to fill up these lower levels of the caving system, but it was when they got to a certain level, the gas was like there, and it kind of was it carbon? I don't think it was carbon monoxide. It was something, but yeah, that one was kind of quite a ways back. Yeah, show me cool art stuff and bike rides. I don't need all this dark stuff. We don't need death and dark caves. Oops. Happy, your legs are a little long. Let's make these a little shorter. There we go. I don't mind the spooky stories. Some of those spooky ones are pretty interesting. But again, you kind of have to be in the mood. I feel like, yeah, I should just stop. There we go. Let's just try it again. Not doing this right today. That's not good. That's not good. That's better, but it's still pretty not good looking. There we go, there we go. Kind of a curved. There we go. Fix this edge, because I really don't have a big corner jutting out. Even though this is going to be covered by his coat. Can't build the coat if the body's a mess. About to have dinner right now, strangely. Just saw a Nutty Birthday story recently. Oh no. What is the algorithm doing? In my case, it's just warning me away from any cave ever, but I'm sure some people will watch those and be like, oh dude, I want to go in there. I'm like, no, 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 no. No. I think I would be, I personally probably be okay with something like Mammoth Cave, because it has like walkways and guardrails and regular normie approved paths. You're not, you know, wandering off into tiny little crevices and stuff. I think I would be okay there, but you know, any type of pure spelunking activity I would probably not be cool with. There was one cave I went into and it was beautiful. It had, you know, all of these structures, but there was a portion where you could get down on your belly and kind of crawl underneath one section to get back out into the larger section. And I could not physically force myself to do it. I had to turn around and go back the way that you could walk. I could not, and it's weird. It's weird when you can't get your body to do something that you know, mentally you're like, okay, I can do this, but your body's just like, nope. That happened to me at the top of a rock wall too. I was this close, not this close, but probably realistically about this close from the top and ringing the bell, but I physically could not move further. I could not get my arms to go up one more rung. I was stuck. I was stuck. And the weird thing about it was I didn't really feel fearful, but just that was it. I could not, and I tried. I was like, okay, it's right here. I can move my arm up and I can move another arm up and I can ring the bell. I just couldn't do it. It's weird. If a bear is chasing me, I'm taking a chance with the bear. Yeah. It's like, yeah, well, I mean, you know. Then I'd wonder if you escaped by going into the cave the bear wouldn't go into, then you probably, yeah. All right. Toilet paper arms, and go in here, and that's probably not what I want to do. I'm gonna have his little other arm like this, and I'll figure out where the other bit of it is in a minute. Can't have two arms that are larger than each other. His arms need to be moderately close to each other in size. I think I can start erasing over here because I can't see what I'm doing, so it tells me I need to start erasing. Oop. I'll drop that down. I'm gonna redraw it, but I just, yeah, doesn't look quite right. Maybe that's a little bit better. Maybe I just need to move his perforations. Whoop. Oh, nope. Wrong. Not good. I did see a good, well, not really a good, but a happy ending to one of those caving stories the other day. It was this, I think this dude in France. He decides to drive off to a cave and go drinking, but he gets lost in the cave and he survives inside there for like 34 days, and they find him eventually. And but what was remarkable about it was how he adapted to, like, the human body adapted to the conditions he was in. And I think the another incredible part about it was that he was found, gosh, what was it? Not very far from the entrance, as I recall. I don't want to say 100 feet, but it was something like that. It was like so close. I think that I'm going to draw something like this. We need a little bit of a... His arm is giving me trouble. It does not look right. It's really bad. Especially when I look at it on my monitor up there, it looks pretty bad. So let's fix this. Let's try to bring it up because that feels better, maybe. I also feel like I probably should bump out the arm because his body is tilted. So down here, just, yeah, that's probably what was really bugging me about it, was that the arm is really not well placed here. There we go. So now I can move you about. So I'm going to redraw you completely. I'm going to get this. Really? It's been broken for nearly 4 weeks. Oh no! I've been surviving off of pancakes. I'm so tired of pancakes. Hopefully your fridge will be fixed and you'll be able to have bacon with your pancakes soon. I feel like the entirety of this happy illustration is just off kilter a little bit, so we're gonna boop boop. There we go. He was a little too tilted. Actually, now I like him better tilted. Hold on. Giving me so much trouble happening. I want a little edge. Oh, did I really do it that way? Alright. It's alright. It's alright. We can erase. Incredibly weird. Okay, I like that, but I don't like this, so let's figure this out. I'm going to go right back to what I had at the beginning. A little better, maybe? Alright, what was that? First caves, now pancakes. I'm really going through some more stories today. Pancakes all day. Alright. I think I'm gonna, yeah, I'm happy right there for now. Because I need to move on in this illustration. And I need to draw Pudge beside him. Of course, we need to save. And Pudge is going to be probably around here. The wonky head shape, but that might actually work because. Oh, really? There we go. There's Happy Pug. A little bit too long of a body here. Curly Pug tail. Go. Need some arms, buddy. Oh, that's a really like a. A little bit. Right. Oh. Get this portion out too, because his ear is in front. There we go. We need to fix this over here. It's a little too wobbly. So let's see what we can do. There we go. Right. Have to go get dinner now. Catch later, and if not, next stream. Are there specific timings for your streams? Tuesdays and Thursdays. Today I try to start around like 11:30, 12. I started a little bit earlier today, but I actually kind of like it, so I may be starting a little bit earlier than that. Times in Central Standard Time. So usually around noonish-ish, somewhere in there, definitely Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I do announce on my Twitter, and I put up go live notices on my Instagram as well. I hope you have a wonderful dinner and rest of your evening as well. His ear is a little bit big. It's kind of not right. Maybe that's closer. There we go. Give him a big upper footer because he's running. Gotta smooth this foot out. Take care, Harbinger. I want to say Harbinger. Take care. Have a good night. That because he's running. He's flipping up grass everywhere. And I want to leave a line for the website. We're getting there. We're getting there. Let's take care of Mrs. Boop real quick. It's already a little bit, well, she can fit between her ears. With your little antenna in the way, it's going to be difficult to draw your spots, but I think that'll be all right. right, and I should, now, I kind of want to make her, I had to leave it smaller. Oops, don't want to move it, but let's come in here and let's do some surgery on these eyes. Move them up a smidge. Go. Actually, no. It's a little smaller. Rid of that. Those need to come just a little bit, Miss Boot. There we go. And let's bring you as a whole down just as you can still fit between her ears, so that's good. All right, let's move out. And I'll clean up these areas, of course, once I get that figured out a little bit more. Oh gosh, my point size is super tiny. Let's bring it back up so we've got everybody kind of in the same range. All right, now let's do barrel of floofs and coconut over here. Well, maybe not that big at all. Perhaps. I think I'm just gonna draw my barrel lines in here. Complete manner. Go. Down a smidge. Have one over here. It's gonna have his heats out. Now I'll have a little one maybe here and a big one maybe here. These guys, and we're gonna go down. Make you a little bit taller. Do need to have room for coconut here, so I may bring this down a smidge, but I also, these guys definitely feel more forward than this, and Happy feels kind of in the background, so I might change the sizing of this to equalize their standing a bit. A little bit of a vacant stare here. Maybe he's got a butterfly he's looking at. There we go. We'll give him something to look at. Now this guy, I want this guy to be a little bit more floofy, kind of like that maybe. I'm not sure about this right here. I almost want to bring this guy down a little bit more and like maybe have his paw coming out like that. That could work, but I'd have to adjust a little bit. There we go, that's not too shabby. Make this a proper butterfly. Thicker edge. Maybe? We shall see. Alright. Out of this groove, I need to erase that. And I'm going to go ahead and group this whole deal in one. And no, I need to get rid of my temporary butterfly. And then I need to draw coconut in here too. So she's going to be probably... She has to be smaller than Momochi. But if Momochi's a bit further behind, maybe these guys will be getting a lot smaller. There we go. Almost there. Oops. There we go. That's about right. That's about right, I think. Oh, I've got a crick in my neck. Oh. Alright, let's fix all of my rough sketch stuff, which is pretty much everything but her face. Right. Okay. Still feel like her. She needs to be a little closer. There we go. That's a little better. And then now perhaps I can make her arm less of, like, there we go. Her arm was getting a little bit, I think I need to redo her foot too. Yep. And what's this little bit? Oh, that's her. Okay. Heading out, try to catch on the next stream. Take care, Bacon. I hope your fridge gets fixed. Have a good rest of your Tuesday. Omar, hello. Welcome to the stream. I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself? I'm gonna figure out. Do I want to erase her Tootsie? I might erase her Tootsie. I want a bit of a stronger line in here to give the details more. Here we go. I think that's a little bit better. I'm being extremely unproductive and inconsistent. Well, at least you know what you're doing and you're honest about it. That's the first step. So if you're in your denial about being unproductive, then that's a whole other problem. I run into that when I'm trying to rationalize not starting because I need to do more research or something like that. That's when I fall into that trap. I can't possibly be ready to do this. I need more research. Oftentimes, that's just an excuse not to start. Especially when you've already done a ton of research. I'm not going to erase her foot yet, but I'm pretty sure that's what I want to do. But I'll come back after I give this some time to rest. That was my spot for the website, which I have up there. And then the last thing I wanted to do is bring, whoop, stop. To make it look like those little flyer things, the little scallops. I feel like those, you see those a lot at markets, and I feel maybe I'll make one that is blowing up. But I need to make him smaller though. Oops. Bring you up. I don't know if I'll keep the scallop border. I'm not sure if this is something I will do, but I will keep it here for now so I can think about it. Oh, nope. Keep wanting to put grass there, but I can't put grass there because that's where the website's going. some other little details here. And before I commit to... I know I need to erase this, so I can go ahead and get rid of that. But I'm not sure if I want to commit to erasing this edge of Happy yet. I may move him over just a smidge, but I'd still have to erase something. How to draw an Adobe Animate like this. Are you using a paintbrush? I'm just a newbie and horrible at drawing. School never taught me to draw or encouraged me. Oh, so Adobe Animate has vector tools, but I found that, and they do have, gosh, if I remember right, they do also have the blob brush in that one, which is what I'm using in this. This is Adobe Illustrator, and I found that the blob brush, which I think on the default is hidden underneath a paintbrush. I've done a custom toolbar here, and I've popped out all of the most often used tools that I reach for. So I have that one up here, and I found it's a happy medium between how it feels to traditionally draw with an ink pen, and also I've got the versatility of it being a vector graphic, so I can size it, you know, up and down as I need to. And it also, like if you're drawing with the paintbrush, it kind of combines two steps in one of expanding and filling those lines, because the paintbrush draws in strokes. This one draws in strokes too, but it automatically fills. So it kind of, you can kind of see, like when I'm drawing with this, you'll see how that switched over to the stroke color. That's how you control the color of that in here. I don't have a lot of experience with Animate, but in terms of improving your drawing skills, I would just try and set if you really want to do it, set a daily goal and say, okay, and set it, you know, make it reasonable. Say I have to draw every day for at least 15 minutes. You can find 15 minutes somewhere. I mean, that's half of an episode of a TV show. That's scrolling on your phone. That's, you know, you can make that habit happen somewhere. And it doesn't have to be polished. It doesn't have to be finished, but take those 15 minutes or whatever you have, just make that the base. Say, okay, you know, I don't have to, you know, draw 2 hours every day, because that's a big thing to, you know, bite off when you're just starting. Put it at 15 minutes and say, okay, let's say you want to get better at still lifes and drawing objects. And give yourself an exercise where I'm going to draw, you know, 2 or 3 objects that are within reach from me. So right now I've got a Coke can, I've got a coaster, and I've got a telephone. So arrange those 3 items and then just sketch them for 15 minutes. And the key to getting better quickly is that focus. You're focusing on a certain goal. So still lifes, objects within reach, and just, you know, start practicing. And then once you feel like you've had, maybe do it for a week or 2 weeks, you can move on to something else. Let's say you want to try anatomy. So there's a lot of different sub-subjects within that. There are hands, there's the planes of the face, there's the just full body gestures and kind of trying to capture motion. I would try to divide it up. I would say, okay, we're going to study hands for 2 weeks. And for your 15 minutes every day, you're studying hands. You're looking up YouTube videos on how to draw hands better. You're looking at online, you know, just visual tutorials. And there's a wealth of knowledge out there for free that can teach you if your school and your classes didn't, you know, dive into that. It's very much something that is a learned skill that you can do on your own. So I know there's a temptation to look at other artists and people on social media and compare yourself directly. And you've got to just remember that what you're seeing on social media is someone's highlight reel. You don't see all the work and the years that went in behind that. And what got them to that point where they can draw that thing and post it on social media. Just remember that, and you're only comparing yourself to yourself. That's why I encourage daily drawing, because you can look back in a month, in a year, and you can really see your progress. Yep, and that's really, it's just, that was really the key for me, because if you set the bar too low, you'll be like, ugh, I can, I'll just skip today and I'll knock, 5 drawings out tomorrow for an hour. That's how you fall into a trap, and that's how, good habits get busted and good systems break. It's very important to do it every day and make that a piece of your schedule, your habit system every single day. And that's how you can, kind of form those new habits to reach those goals. But yeah, if you find that 15 minutes is too easy, say 30 minutes, and find that happy medium for you. I tried to start a daily drawing habit like several years in a row, and what I found out was that I was making it too easy. Like the first few of the times that I failed, it was because I was like, okay, you just have to sketch something in pencil every day. And the trap I fell into was what I just described. I don't really want to do it today. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do 2 drawings tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes along and I'll do 3 drawings tomorrow. And soon you've got a week's worth of drawings piled up, and it's harder to find the time to do that than it is every single day, a small bit. So comparison game is bad. Yes, very much so. It really only compare yourself. That's the only thing you should allow yourself to do, because that's the only set of circumstances that you have a full window on. You know exactly what you've done and what you've not done, and the things that you've learned or not learned. You know how long it took you to get the hang of this skill or that skill. And another thing I would suggest is don't rely on digital. One of my greatest challenges that I take part in every year is Inktober, and the problem solving you have to do when you can't erase, when you have to think about everything you put down, because you're working in ink, and there's really only so much you can do if you mess up on an ink drawing. You got to either figure out how to do it or live with the mistakes. So you find yourself thinking about your strokes and your lines more carefully, because there's more consequence to you messing up than just a Control-Z and erase. So try a daily drawing challenge with just ink and paper. And I find that my inking skills advance more in 30 days than they do over a year of digital when I'm working just 30 days ink. Because you have to think about it a little bit more, and you get more confidence in your lines that way too, because you don't have that, that safety net. So that's another thing. Once you kind of get the hang of setting that time aside, try to continually challenge yourself more and more. Yeah, and that, that's something too. Line confidence, that there's so much speed gain in line confidence alone. Like if you're, let me just hit save because I haven't saved in ages. I can move this out too. Actually, no, I won't. So like you'll see a lot of beginner artists, they're gripping, they've got a death grip on their pen, and they're just doing something like this. And they're doing that because they don't have confidence to do this. So, and where that confidence comes is in the practice and drawing the multiple lines, figuring out that, I can't really draw, this line if I'm strangling the life out of my pen. If you use more, draw more in your elbow and your shoulder, you'll have smoother lines, a lot smoother lines. And that'll be something you learn in ink as well, because you've got, that permanence to deal with. So again, you've got to think about the stroke. You've got to think about what you're doing a little bit more. Plan a little bit more. I often sketch in pencil, just roughly, just about as how much I do here. So, whoops, this is my rough sketch here. I kind of do that in pencil when I'm doing an ink drawing. And it's not cheating, it's mapping things out. It's figuring out your layout and your composition. And don't fall into the trap either of references cheating. It's not, it's learning. I mean, how can you learn to draw something if you can't see it? And let's say you want to draw an animal that you don't have access to go look at. I mean, very few people, I mean, unless you live in a big city, you probably don't have access to a zoo that has elephants or giraffes. So you're looking at, more common domestic animals like cats and dogs. So if you want to draw those exotic animals, you have to rely on reference. You have to rely on video. You've got to do that stuff. And, I think a lot of those do's and don'ts that people put out there are kind of silly. It's just one of my friends, Too Senseless, I'm always amazed that she's just such a fluid artist. She doesn't have any fear of breaking out of a drawing habit that she's gotten into. She tries all of these different new styles, these different techniques, and it's inspiring to see that playfulness and that fluidity in the tools and the styles and the techniques she experiments with. And just try to keep that sense of play in mind. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. All right, there we go. And it's not centered. So, it was centered almost. So this was not centered. No, it was centered. Why does it look off? I'll have to play with that a little bit. And I'll have to see if I want to put any background noise back here to give a little bit more depth to this, but I like how it is so far. I think it's cute. I might move this stuff over. I might move Floop over a little bit. But yeah, I think this is good. This will work. We're still here. Yeah, I'm about to log off though. Is ghosting? What do you mean ghosting? Like sketching or you mean it, like tracing, or what do you mean by that? Ghosting is in like the ignoring somebody online. That's the only ghosting I know about. But if you mean like tracing, and I think that's another way to learn, honestly. I mean, just as long as you're not claiming the work as your own, it is practice, and that is what you're, as long as you're upfront, if you're posting it online saying, hey, I would call it more of a master study. Painters do master studies. They'll study Rembrandt. They'll try to replicate these master paintings. And I think if I'm understanding ghosting in that term, that would be kind of a form of that, because you're trying to replicate that and learn from it and how they chose colors and how they created these effects with what they had. So I think it would be, kind of like that. But I wouldn't rely on it a lot. Sketching an image in mid-air without actually touching the paper. Oh! If that works for you, I mean, I can see how that would work. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a bad habit. I mean, if it helps you spatially figure something out, figure out a shape, figure out a composition, then go for it. I mean, I've never really, I guess what I'm doing is kind of doing that, because what you're doing is you're training your muscles. You're training to get those shapes, to figure out how you're drawing physically, let's say a circle, doing that versus, sketching all the way around. But yeah, I mean, I think it kind of is like a warm-up, a warm-up swing. But yeah, definitely, if that works, then do it. Alrighty, so let's go in here. I think I will add a little bit more to the background, but I do like this. I'm still on the fence about these guys, these little flaggies. I'll see what it looks like with and without. I may decide to do background elements back here instead, but I also don't want to draw focus away from the characters. And I also need to do some knockouts on the eyes because Momo, Granny Bear, Boop, Happy, and Pudge all have shine on their eyes. And I also have to do some shadows and stuff on there, but that will be for later. But let me go ahead and go to my ending screen. Oh, Catherine! Oh, shoot. Welcome. Good to see you. I am about to shut down for the day. I started earlier. I've got to run out. I want to check some box lunches to see if they've got pins in stock. So, but yeah, I'm going to go do that. And if I find them, I'll be posting on Instagram, so you can see that there. But yeah, I was working here. Let me just switch back over. I'll show you. I'll show you what I was working on. So I was working on updating this, which is my retail bag art right here. I wanted to do something new since I drew this in 22, and I've been using it for a couple of years. I wanted to update that. So this is, and on the final bag, all of these shadows are, you can probably not see it as well, but they're halftones. Yeah, it's starting to take it out, but I do need to go through and do that shading and convert to halftones, so that will be what the final bag art will be. But I think I'm pretty happy with it, with how it is right now. I just need to decide a little bit more back here, or taking out these flags or something. Just playing around with it a little bit. But yeah, that's what I worked on today. And yeah, I will be back on Thursday with comics, and not sure what one I'll be drawing. Let me see. We did the Purrline. I'll probably maybe be doing a Momo, Granny Bear, maybe. I did a Happy one. Did I do a Happy one last time? I did a Happy one, yes, a couple days ago. I think it was Thursday. I've been trying to work in, like for every floof-centric comic I do, I've been trying to work in another character because I don't want it to all be floofs. But I've been trying to bring forward some of the others. But yeah, we'll be doing that on Thursday. I hope to see you guys again then. And I hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday and a wonderful Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining me, Catherine, Omar, Sharon. I know Harjinder and Bacon are gone, but all of my lurkers always appreciate your company. I hope you have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you next time.